Hey, Shalom. I'm Chris Miles, and before we start this interview, I just want to prepare everybody with me. Excuse me. Um, Preparing for the Chris Miles show, which I got some footage that we're working on now. This is my good friend Willie Knight.
All right.
So yeah, we got the Chris Miles show coming. This program is we're going to be talking about a lot of topics dealing with various issues from politics to spiritual to sports to you name it. I'm going to be addressing it. Me and Willie have been on the cutting edge of a lot of topics here when I'm actually in Montgomery, Alabama. Here today in our studios, working on some things that we're going to be talking about, issues that really need to be addressed that not necessarily has been addressed, and put my hat on. So we're going to be addressing like certain issues dealing with a lot of various topics. Willie, what you got to say, my man?
First of all, it has come to our attention that we don't have any real stand-up black guys here in America anymore.
Right.
Everybody wants to be incorporated into a system that doesn't benefit everyone. And when you have a couple of guys like myself and Dr. Miles that speak out on different issues, you have people that would like to label us terrorists and all kinds of horrible names, when really, in fact, we're actually loving
black people.
Black people.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Hold on, bro, Willie. The whole thing is that why is it in America when somebody like myself, a brother Knight here, Dr. Knight, come out and talk about certain issues, we're labeled as terrorists. Terrorists, or we're labeled as they got to put a name on us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, why is it that my love for my race, my people, has to be incorporated into something being me being a criminal or somebody that's hating white people? I don't hate anybody. But the point is, there are topics here that go on that the system that the white man set up, he needs to be reminded of.
Right. And first of all, let's just cut straight through the chase. We're not your typical hip-hop gurus. We do not support hip-hop music, what you look at as hip-hop music today. We don't believe in degrading our women. We don't believe in degrading ourselves. We don't believe in the sagging pantses. We're actually a couple of educated black men that just want what's right for our people. And the fact of the matter is, we're subjected to a system that is set up to keep us permanently oppressed. And anytime you try to buck the system, you become a problem.
Right.
So, let's look at a couple of things. Number one, the way that we feel about America. No race of people have been more loyal to America than black people.
Exactly.
And no other race of people have been more mistreated than black people right here in America. And instead of America wanting to right their wrongs, they'd rather come up with some delusional idea that, America doesn't owe you anything. When really, let's look at that. A country that was built off the back of your ancestors.
400 years of
free labor.
Free labor. Chattel slavery going forward.
What it is.
And chattel slavery going forward, black people have never been reparated. Matter of fact, I was just in D.C. Last month. I went up there as a counter to Al Sharpton and the march they had up to about Eric Gardner and Trayvon Martin,
Mike
Brown, all of this stuff here. And it was straight. I won't say call it foolishness. I mean, some good things came out of it because we were able to go up there and interact with some of the people, some of the ones that was actually murdered by the police officer.
Right.
Now, this is the thing. Will and myself has a projective of this, that all of the countermeasures that from the civil rights movement going forward has not worked. First of all, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, so I follow the teachings that the Most High instructed us to do according to the scriptures. Now, That being said, the civil rights movement was a countenance of supposedly the stuff that was going on where the so-called white man, Esau, according to the Bible, was, hurting and killing and doing all of these unthinkable things to black people. That being said, Martin Luther King came along, and they came with this notion of, well, maybe we need to just assimilate and try to get along,
After 400 years of trying to
getting our ass stomped and whooped. But this, hold on, Willie. This is the thing. What I want to say is this: it's a proven fact that assimilation has not worked
at all.
It hasn't worked. Okay, so with assimilation not working, I mean, and we got certain political pundits out there that has this notion that we need to keep marching and all this stuff. And the shit hasn't worked. So
for what?
That being what it is, my thing is, why don't we separate?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. I'm from the city where all of this stuff came about, the civil rights movement, and the stuff pertaining to the Montgomery bus boycott, the voting right act, all of this stuff
originated from right here in Montgomery.
Came from out of Montgomery, Alabama.
Now let's look at something that Chris said. I want to focus on something that Dr. King preached about, and this is where we have to be able to agree to disagree. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with our stance. And we feel that the first thing that they did that was wrong was they begged their oppressors to be accepted. In the Bible, it tells you, the first commandment said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me, for I am a jealous God."
Right.
Let's break that down. When you start begging somebody, at that point, you make an idol God out of them. It's just like a bunch of kids that can't get along. If you have kids that are out there on the playground and they can't get along, as adults, what we would do, we would separate the ones that have a problem from the other ones and allow them to keep playing.
Right.
So when Dr. Miles said that we need to separate, understand something. You have two sets of grown adults here in America that just can't get along. They're not going to get along.
Right.
One race have done entirely too much
to the other race. Exactly.
To the other race for us just to up and just totally forgive and forget. And to show you how cold-hearted and calculus they can be, they will tell you that you would need to forget your past. When they get to talking about slavery, quite often blacks hear on a regular basis, well, I didn't own any slaves and I don't want you to hold me accountable for it. When really, in all actuality, you have benefited from the slavery. Right. So 9/11, I didn't cause 9/11, but I'm constantly reminded about it. And if you go and you go on Maxwell Air Force Base and you tell the military to forget about 9/11, they're subject to shoot you in the head and call you a terrorist.
Right.
So let's look at things for what it really is. What happened back then, it still affects all black families now.
And the other notion of that too, thanks for bringing that good info in. The scriptures are Isaiah, and I don't have my sword with me, but I am well equipped with the knowledge of the Most High to know that he wrote in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 14:21, it says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers."
That's right.
Now that's a direct quote that I'm quoting from the Bible. Mm-hmm. So what people have to understand is that when you have a seed, that seed is a direct descendant from you. Mm-hmm. And people don't even know that reincarnation is in the Bible.
Right.
Every fourth generation comes back into the earth.
Right.
So in actuality, they are responsible for it because we've all been here before. That's something that's not